Hey, y'all.
Hey y'all!
Over
Welcome.
that tonight.
That's right.
Yep.
Welcome to Saturday.
Yes.
We are back again, and today we just want to have a conversation, y'all.
That's it.
And we want to talk about loving your spouse through a perceived lack of change.
Okay.
And how do you do that?
Or too much change.
Or too much
Yeah.
change. How about that?
How about that? Yeah.
So I ran across this quote, and I want to start off with this quote, and it is by author Heidi Priebe. But I love what she says here. She says, "To love someone long term is to attend 1,000 funerals of the people they used to be, the people they're too exhausted to be any longer, the people they don't recognize inside themselves anymore, the people they grew out of, the people they never ended up growing into. We so badly want the people we love to get their spark back when it burns out, to become speedily found when they're lost. But it's not our job to hold anyone accountable to the people they used to be. It is our job to travel with them between each version and honor what emerges along the way." Man, I just thought that was so good. So,
So the question you asked me as we
yeah,
were going down the road
yeah,
to go relax
yeah, that's what I was about to
was.
say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it
Yeah.
instigated a conversation that we were having the other day, and I was like, babe, do you think it's more challenging to, be committed to someone who either is changing all the time and you're like, man, I just can't keep up with them. I don't know what they're going to look like, be like, act like the next day? Or is it more challenging to, be committed to someone who seems like they're never changing? Like they are so regimented, so routine, like they doing the same thing in your eyes that they was doing like 10 years ago. It's like, man, they ain't never gonna change. Like, can we please like get some movement here? So, I just asked them like, what do you say on that? What advice would you give to someone who has those questions?
Yeah. And like everyone and every spouse, when your spouse asks you a question about change, you be like, oh Lord, is this about me or
What
is
I
it
do?
about her? What
What I
I do
do?
now? You know what I mean? I thought we was going to relax. And that's what was funny about the whole thing. But I did think about it, and it was just like, um, I told her about the commitment. I think as I come up and out of it, and it wasn't about me or about her, it was about if people we really go through this, And again, I've changed a lot
Yeah.
between, you know, being with a
We
single,
had just
you know what I
started
mean?
2013.
Yeah. Okay, 2013 when we got married, I knew I could not be the same person um, that I was 2013. Even though y'all might see me in the same shirt sometimes in this YouTubes, I'm like, look, we wash our clothes, so it might be the same shirt. But going back to like, what if you saw me in 12 different pictures,
Mm-hmm.
right? And every time you saw me, you knew it was a different year, but you saw me in the same shirt for 12 years. Like, dude,
That
does
dude
he have
don't
any
never
other change?
change his shirt.
But guess what? We don't do that with billionaires.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't do it with people
Because
that are
they,
in a certain
they
status.
might got 50 black t-shirts to
And the
make their
reason they
life
do, yeah,
simple.
and the reason they do that is because of all the decisions you have to make sometimes and responsibilities.
Don't got
So,
time to be
yeah,
deciding about what you're going to wear that day.
yeah. So, in that, and I was like, okay, there are times I know I get in my cycle or trend, or it's like, okay, we call it
Your
routine.
routine.
Yeah, routine. I'm gonna do this. But I also know I have to leave room for change or interruptions or sometimes emergencies,
Adjustments.
just adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I just all of a sudden like, no, I can't listen to my wife right now because I'm supposed to be doing this, that's going to cause a problem. So
Mm-hmm.
is it me or is it her changing all the time or having a lot of questions, or is it me not allowing the space, right, and
Mm-hmm.
to cultivate conversation,
Mm-hmm.
which conversation can bring about the change that's needed. And then I came across a thing with us sitting there and chilling, and it's like this: is your habit stronger than your desire to improve?
That's good. Yeah. Say that again.
Is your habit stronger than your desire to improve?
Okay.
I got that from the Decision book. I was listening to an audio, and it just happened to fit the same thing about change. So, again, like I was telling you, I look at it more of a commitment. I will have to look at it. Is my commitment to my marriage more important than is my marriage more important than my willingness not to change? Does that make sense?
Or is your commitment to your habit,
or commitment to my habit, as far as this, greater than my
commitment
covenant
to marriage? Yeah.
To marriage.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I'm trying to stay the same, I want the same breakfast for 45 years. I want the same lunch for 45 years. I want the same dinner for 45 years. And I want my kids to say the same thing to me during breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 45 years. That's a problem.
That's extreme.
I'm saying, but that's the extreme sometimes when you, especially when you're talking marriage and you think every day things changes. Every day is different. It's renewed every morning. His mercies, God's mercies. And if I'm just trying to see the same thing for 50 some years, there's a problem. My habit and the things I want is more important than anything else that's growing, changing, that is good, that is not so good. So do I want to mend my marriage or do I want to go with the trend? So either I'm going to mend or I'm going to stay in this trend of me. And sometimes the trend of me is not good to mend the marriage. So I just say that as far as being a change agent. Like for what we talked about earlier, is like, I like change, right? But then there's some change that's just not good. So it doesn't matter if I'm a change agent or me coming in here with a bikini top or whatever. That's not a good change. That's what I'm saying. If I all of a sudden came in here, the guys that be in the muscle shirt. If I came in here,
shirt. I'm like, you said bikini top. I'm like, that would not be a good shirt.
For me, it looks like those bikini tops or whatever, them halter tops. Yeah. And then, I come in here and we're on YouTube doing this. My wife would be like, what in the world are you doing, dude? Because it's not a change she knew. But I'm like, I want to show off some of this right here. You know what I mean? I'm beefing up a little bit. We'd be like, no, that's not a good change, right? That's not a good look on you.
Not a good look.
It's like when you see somebody stuck in the 1950s, right? And I ain't talking about, let's go back to like the 60s and 70s. The high heel thicks and all that stuff, even though it comes back in. But you don't want to see Uncle Lou.
You don't want to see the aquarium shoes.
So you don't want to see Uncle Lou.
Get your sucker.
Yeah, in certain environments with his, fly collar, bell-bottom pants and stuff. If it's not a 70s, 60s party, if the trend ain't come back, you be like, hey, I need to mend this this relationship by saying, Uncle Lou, maybe, hey, here's a nice little outfit to put on. But anyway.
So I want to touch on something that came up when we were talking about this, because you said sometimes it's not so much that the person isn't changing.
Right.
It just may be perceived in that way because your perception hasn't changed.
Yes.
So sometimes people really are changing, but you just don't see it.
Yeah.
So what did you mean by that?
I meant by, like, when I was going through changes, right? Like, I'm coming off the diabetic stuff. I'm coming off of all these things. There's things I'm doing differently. Now, I may still be tired. I still might be eating certain things or whatever the case may be. But I am changing because I want to be. There was a commitment that I made to our marriage, our covenant to our marriage, that I would be a better person. I would give you the best me I can. I knew it wouldn't be the 20-year-old Linwood that could lift and do all this other stuff. But you know what? I can lift. I can still can do things. I just have to do it to the best of my ability. And I can't do it at the best of my ability when I got this symptom, that symptom, that symptom, and I'm just saying, hey doc, give me this, give me that, give me that. And then it's causing other issues. I will never forget they gave me vitamin D, right? Because my levels are low in vitamin D. But it's because I'm taking this medicine and that medicine and this medicine that's depleting all of what's needed, right? So then I'm like, oh, they said, oh, well, you really go outside for like 15 minutes, right? What better state to move to get 15 minutes? But then I had some medicine say, watch your exposure to sun. You can't. So I'm like, wait a minute now.
Competing medicine.
Yeah, you give me something that's supposed to be helping me.
Yeah. But
it's not good for me. Yeah. And to bring it to what you was talking about, I'm changing, but the things that I'm trying is making me look like I'm saying staying the same or doing, but I have in here.
You have a change mindset.
I have a change mindset.
So what I hear you saying is sometimes because we don't see externally the outcome that we want to see in the change, it doesn't mean that they're not changing. Yeah. They're just still in the process. And maybe it's a lot of internal change going on.
Absolutely.
Mentally, even the heart change that's going on the inside. But you just don't see the outcome that you want, or it's not looking the way that you want it to look.
But if someone tells you when you start to come off of this, you're going to get a little cranky, right? When you start changing your diet, your body's going to be craving something, so they let you know what's about to happen. So now, like when you used to bring me M&Ms, right? Because I used to,
peanut
M&Ms used to be the bomb. But when she bought them one time and I had already made that change, I'm like, babe, I know you love me, right? But, don't bring these home for me. And she was like, what? You know what I mean? And because I had physically but I didn't communicate it.
Yes.
That's the problem sometimes, I think, when we are going through different changes or are trying to change, or even when we are the one that likes to change our eyelashes, our hair, our nails or whatever, or change my shirt or change my dress. I'm not communicating that to my
We talked
spouse.
about that in one of our previous videos.
Yeah. It's like you're making changes and wait a minute now. That person that went into the bathroom is not the same person that came out. When you went in.
Where that hair come from?
I was like, wait a minute, you had gray hair when you came in. Now you got black hair. It's like, it kind of like, wait a minute. And so if I came out, like when I shaved this off, my wife be like, what happened? But I didn't tell her, babe, this thing is getting unruly.
I do a hard reset.
Or I made a mistake and, I don't want to be all like this. So I had to start it over.
Yeah.
And so, but we come out and we shock our spouse in the change that happened instead of communicating. Whether it's on the spot communication or, babe, this is what I'm thinking. This is what and can you support me in it? Help, support, or what is it? What we do? Agreement. Yeah. We agree, we help, and support. And sometimes we can agree on something, right? And it's like, I don't know how to support you on that one.
Yeah.
But I'm here. I agree that, that's something you want to do, and this is what I'm here for. To like you said, watch the different stages we go through, the different so-called deaths. Like the word said.
Yeah, going back to that
the quote.
Yeah. Where is it?
We're different people.
1,000 deaths.
Yeah, 1,000 deaths.
To love someone long term is to attend 1,000 funerals of the people they used to be.
Yeah.
Man, that's so true. Yeah. Yep.
And so that's it. That's as far as that is change is concerned. Wanting change or is too much change requires more communication through it. And it's like, okay, sometimes why did you want this change, right? Or why do you feel this? And either it's internal or it's external. Now, internal things we have to communicate, right? External things we can point out. Do you understand the difference between that? Because sometimes some things that's coming internal, I need to do this for myself.
Yeah.
Right? this is
This don't
bothering
gotta
me.
do nothing,
This didn't
nothing
really
to do with no other person
Yeah.
but me.
But I make it external because I'm feeling this certain way. Like we was joking in the kitchen yesterday, right? When I'm in the kitchen, there's
when you were putting the dishes away?
yeah. When I'm in the kitchen, I do a certain way, right? And then when she's in the kitchen, she has her way of doing things. The way I do the dishes, is wash them, put them in the clean sink, and I might get distracted, right? And then they may sit there, and then she comes in the kitchen, and it's a pet peeve that she doesn't like,
The
just
unrinsed
dishes in the thing, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't get to taking the dry dishes out of the dishwasher, off of the drying pad, putting them away, and then putting the rinse dishes in the same spot. Because a pet peeve of mine is mixing dry dishes with wet dishes. When it was like, oh man, now they're starting to pile up. And so I know my wife can be over there. As a matter of fact, this was happening yesterday. She was over there. I didn't even realize she was watching me, right? And I got ready to put a dish away.
I know how we can see without looking.
Yeah. We observe each other all the time because we, you know what I mean? But she said something, and it was like,
no, you were putting a dish that was
you
wet.
put in?
It was still wet because I had just washed it.
Yeah, and put it over with the dry dishes.
And you were about to put it in the cabinet. And I said, no, don't put that in there because it's still wet. And he didn't even know I'm like paying attention to whatever. And you said, you would have said something different in the past. But this time, you said, I just love so much how you help me in the kitchen.
And that's right. To make sure everything works so well.
I just love so much how you watch every little thing that I'm doing in this kitchen to help me.
To help me. That's right. So, because I know if I would have went, good night, you know what I mean? Let me do something, you know what I mean? But the thing was, it was very helpful. And sometimes if we look at things, and it happened today too. You had done the blender, and I was washing the dish and everything, and it was a little wet. And you was like, well, I just used that. That's wet. And I was like, okay. Simply because I had already made an adjustment.
Yes.
And I was doing that.
A change.
I did a change. She didn't see it internally.
Yeah.
Right? But when the opportunity came, then, it made us both laugh.
Yeah.
Because it was something I said different.
Yeah. And it caught my attention.
Yes.
Because I'm like, whoa, that was different. So again, what changed though was your perspective.
Absolutely.
You made a decision to look at it differently.
Absolutely.
Instead of looking at it as, oh, she nagging me or she trying to tell me how to, do it her way instead of my way or.
Because let me tell you.
all of that. You was like, wait a minute, this really is helpful.
When you're in a state of mind, the scriptures can be twisted, like we saw with Jesus and the enemy, talking about certain things. So the first thing would come when I'm doing something, and she would say was like, man, it's hard for a man to live with a contentious woman, right? It's better that he lives on a roof, right? And I was like, my wife is not. At this point, if that's the first thought, I'm like, I'm not going to live on a roof. It's hot in Florida. You know what I mean? I don't care how contentious she get or whatever the case may be. So it's funny that I can shift that quick. I was like, wait a minute. That's not what the word means. And my wife is not that type of person. So what is she trying to say? And it's just when you do that more often and you're making an internal change.
What is the true intention?
What's the true intention?
My interpretation.
And not my feeling at this time. Because that little knee jerk, this thing is like, it wants to defend itself all the time. And I'm like, I don't need to defend myself over a dish that's damp, right? Either I can use the thing because my wife said, hey, it's wet. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that it was wet because now it was sat over in the dry dishes, which is, again, where the dish is supposed to go to dry in the drying rack or whatever, or in the dishwasher where we let them dry. It's okay. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about a dish.
That's right.
Why?
Right.
So the change is like, again, dishes change all the time, right? And it's like, if that is too much for me, I got an issue.
A long way
I
to
got
go.
to say, okay, if laundry that changes all the time is getting on my nerve, I got to do something different, right? Because that's going to be a routine. That's something that happens all the time, but it happens differently. And it happens, I might need a shirt and it's dirty. And we hadn't got to that cycle yet. Am I going to get mad? Because, hey, why is my shirt dirty? Dude, wash his clothes. Or if it's not a dude and the dude's doing the laundry and your shirt is not clean, you go do the laundry. Or say, babe, oh, have you seen my shirt? It's different ways to external things don't affect your marriage.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. I wanted to read the scripture. It's in Ephesians 2:21. It's alignment time, y'all.
Yeah, that's good.
But this one popped in my head as we were talking, and this is actually the Passion Translation, not the normal New King James we usually read or NLT. But this one is different, the way they say it, but I think it's so apropos. So it says, this entire building, who is us, because we're the temple of the living God, this entire building is under construction and is continually growing under his supervision until it rises up completed as the holy temple of the Lord himself. This means that God is transforming each one of you into the Holy of Holies, his dwelling place, through the power of the Holy Spirit living in you. So even as a believer, there's always a changing work going on with you. There's always that transforming work going on with you. There's always that both the constructing and the cultivating work that God is doing in you. And sometimes you see the change immediately or externally, and sometimes you don't, especially when it comes to the cultivating part. A lot of cultivation work, you don't see the change immediately. It happens in the secret places, in the dark places. So you just gotta use that fruit of the spirit of patience while God is completing his perfect work in your spouse. So
I wanted to, mention, we're talking about trends and everything, about change, and, trends will have you in, up, down, round, around, and have you in different things. But there is a consistency that you have to find in your own self, right? And in your marriage and your spouse, and y'all together, that consistent way that we can cultivate the growth. We can cultivate the communication. We can cultivate even through the seasons of change, for growth. Again, when things are dormant and it doesn't look like it's growing, doesn't mean the roots aren't getting nourished.
Yeah.
And things are changing. I might be a potato head this time.
Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, everything I got right now that's about to change, it's underneath the ground,
the surface,
and you don't know. But once it come and I put on a smile, I put on the new, my new eyes and stuff like that. I'm just okay. I'm okay, and you get to see that. And I've learned a lot again with the garden. And the other day I went out and put some trellis or truss or whatever them things
Those
are called.
trellises.
Yeah, that I saw as this vine is growing, it started to
look for somewhere
to grab, and it was nothing out there.
Yeah.
So I put something, and when I went out the next day, it had wrapped itself out and grew some more. So sometimes just place things there for your spouse. Support. For them to grab on as they're reaching out for your support. But it hadn't quite got there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
So there's growth happening. And you are the one that they want to reach out to. You just have to put some support there that'll help that growth. And so that's what I would end on.
Yeah.
That we all are changing.
That's good.
And we have to reach out and communicate. And even when they're not, and even when they're not reaching out, sometimes you have to observe the growth, observe and see what's really going on. Like, that's it.
That's good, babe. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I That's all we have for today, huh?
That's it. That's
All
our
right.
Saturday.
You can definitely continue to love your spouse
Yes, you can.
through the change.
That's it.
Or
Too
what you
much
perceive
change.
as lack thereof. But it's
Lack
not.
thereof, or too much. Yeah. We love y'all.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging with us today.
And don't forget, make every day a date day.
And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Love y'all.
All right.
Oh, like, subscribe, and share. Comment. All that good stuff.
Love
Talk to y'all
y'all.
later. Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.